Hello everybody, this is Darren, or as I'm known on the Traxxas forums, Pontiac GT 201. Today there was a request for how to change or remove a spur gear out of a Traxxas Slash 4x4. So pretty much today I'm just going to be showing how to remove the spur gear, how to reinstall it, how to some of the tricks that I figured out to get it in easier and put the truck back together easier. I'm sure most people know how to do them. So pretty much I'll be going through all that information today. So of course, to work on one of these trucks, just pull the body off. And the way, I love the way Traxxas did the Slash 4x4 because it is very simple to work on any of the differentials or anything. Because either you remove the front half, the rear half, or you can take them both off and work however you feel like on the truck. As you may notice, I don't have a motor, ESC, or servo because I ordered a roller online, which didn't come with them, of course. So pretty much to get to the spur gear on this truck, or where you want to install your center differential, you want to take off the rear half of the truck because your spur gear and everything is sitting right in this little section here. I find it a lot easier to take off for everything to reinstall it, to take off the drive shaft cover and your spur gear cover. I find it a lot easier to reinstall everything. So I'm pretty much just going to start doing that now. Main reason I find it easier to uninstall everything is when you put everything back together, the spur gear sometimes doesn't like to line up. I found without the cover on, you can actually spin the spur gear to line it up with everything on the rear end of the truck. And with the drive shaft cover out, it makes it a lot easier to move the drive shaft too. And if you're wondering why my drive shaft cover is painted blue, it's because I did the extension mod on it so the dirt can't get into the spur gear cover, or under the spur gear and all that, into the drive shaft. I'm still working on the front, but I did the drive shaft mod. And there's just one bolt to pull out the gear cover. Now on mine, I don't know if they did it on every 4x4. The little bolt that holds on the cover was actually on the underside of this chassis and everything. So you had to just to pull the gear cover off, you had to pull the whole rear end of the truck apart. If yours is like that, you do not have to keep it like that. The bolt actually fits into the cover right on top. It makes it a lot easier to check your gears without removing the whole rear end of the truck. Now I find it a lot easier, instead of prying and prodding and trying to get the rear gear cover off, just to get a flathead screwdriver and just pry it off little by little. Not too much force, you don't want to break it, but just want it to pop off. Now to actually remove the rear end of the truck, there's only 4 bolts. It is very simple to remove the rear end of the truck if you want to work on like the center diffs, or I mean the rear diff, center diff, any of the parts on the rear of the truck. You can remove the whole rear end with 4 bolts. Very simple. There's 2 bolts here, right next to the body mounts and the shock towers. Then you flip it over, and there's 2 bolts right here. So pretty much you just want to remove those 4 bolts. I do recommend getting any type of like a ratcheting screwdriver, because yes, you can use the actual Traxxas tools that Traxxas provides, which are very good tools. I still use them. I still have them in my toolbox. But if, say, you're racing at a track or anything, which is what I do, you don't want to have to sit there and slowly wind off a bolt. You want to get them off fast and get them off and get whatever you need to do done work on. So that's why I bought the ratcheting screwdriver. Then of course you can drop a bolt into the body, which is always fun. bolt back. So pretty much the whole rear end of the truck is unbolted. It's done. That's 4 bolts. It's apart. All you gotta do is just slide the rear end off, which sometimes can actually be a little hard, but rear end just slips off like that. There's your whole rear section. You can sit there and pull that off and work on your center diff, or your rear diff, your center diff, everything else. And there's your spur gear there. So you just take the rear end off. Your spur gear will just slide right out. There's your spur gear. Yeah, I don't have a truck mount. I actually find this a lot easier because it's light, plus it's the right height I need. There's your spur gear. And take everything apart. Like if you needed to redo anything here on the rear of the spur gear, or you just wanted to put a new gear on it, pretty much what you do is there's a small bolt here. I'm not going to take it apart because I got my spur gear right where I want it right now. There's a small bolt here. You remove that, this whole thing slides off. You just turn the bolt until the whole thing comes apart. And then your bearing comes off, and then you have 3 bolts here, which come apart. So, if you do want a video of how to completely take apart the spur gear, I can do that. Just right now, I've got the spur gear set right now for me, until I can actually get the center diff that I'm looking at. So I'm not going to take it apart right now. But if you do want a video instruction on how to take it apart, just let me know. Just PM me on the Traxxas forums, and I can make a video and show you how to do it, or somebody else will be willing to do it probably. So that's pretty much the whole thing of taking it apart. I'll make a second video if I had to put everything back together, showing how I can, or showing how to deal with putting the truck back together, and I'll have it posted. Again, it's Pontiac GT 201 on the Traxxas forums. If you got any questions, just send me a PM or comment on the video. Thank you.